Y'all let me talk for that long without telling me. Molly was the first one to tell me. I said, happy to. Welcome to the team call. I have it set on mute. So there's an option, I don't know if you know this, to make it so that when it logs on, the settings are that it's automatically on mute. Too many times I've logged into a call and it's the middle of a call and I feel so obnoxious. Or this is what happens. Those of you who are on the Miracle Morning call, my husband would fart before I had time to mute. And come on. So, so I had to start keeping it on mute, the setting on mute, and it's recording, because that's another thing you can do. The settings on your Zoom is you can make it so that it records every call, because I don't want to forget. It's something important. Yes, somebody on the call this morning said their husband, there might have been nudity. I'm not gonna say any more about that. She was mortified. I don't think we actually saw anything, but he didn't know it was open and whatever. Happens. Welcome to the team call. So if this is their first time here on team call, I did get my hair did. I got my roots done. It's that 37-year-old life. So yeah, trying to keep it polished for you, Chelsea. So we're talking about mindset tonight, but first just a couple little announcements. Let's see, it is the 29th and there's two days left in the month. I know that I'm still working hard towards some goals. So if you guys had some Team Cup goals and you haven't hit those, I strongly encourage you to keep working. If there's anybody who, might be open to leading a live power hour tomorrow night, for anybody else who's still working hard, that might be an awesome thing. I know that really helps to kind of, get people inspired, and that's a fun thing to do together. I know that so many people have so much more success when they do that live power hour with, other people. It kind of gets them moving faster, and they're surprised at how fast they can move through those vital behaviors and get people started. So let me see the chat, making sure I'm not missing something. Okay, nothing yet. Let's see what kind of announcements we have. I did. Oh, was there a question? Let me mute, because I think I'm hearing voices and thinking that someone's trying to talk to me. Mute. I'm going to mute you all, but please do feel free to unmute yourself. I do want these to be interactive. It's really not a fun environment for me just to talk. I want this to be interactive. So definitely using the chat window is great, but if you want, please feel free to speak up. We want to hear your voice. It's really important to me that I'm not just a talking head. I really believe that Team Phoenix is best when we leverage each other. And so it's something that I really want to invite and have you guys feel comfortable. But I know some of you might be newer to the team and that might be a little uncomfortable, but we do this every other week, generally. And the Tuesdays opposite, we do a live power hour. I can't say enough about those, especially if you don't already have yourself a good rhythm of your vital behaviors. If you have your vital behaviors down and you're a rock star at it, you go. All right, you go and you do it, you rock it. But if that is something that you're struggling with, it is a really awesome opportunity to get some movement and to get some ideas, to get inspired and see what happens when you get those ideas and kind of get that fresh inspiration. All right. I don't want to take too much time doing too many announcements, but I did want to let you know that I was delinquent on our annual gift that I like to do on behalf of Team Phoenix. I like to do, so what I decided to do at the beginning of this year was every month I would give $1 per Success Club point that was earned from the previous month. So in July, I haven't done it yet, and that was $460. And so tonight, I donated, and I haven't posted in the team page yet, but just to let you know, usually I have to take a poll. I've had you guys vote before, but I made an executive decision, and I'm giving it to, it's a Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. It's the one that the mayor of Houston is facilitating. So it's, I looked into it. I know it gets a little bit sketchy when you look at charities. You want to be really careful, but I did look into that one. And so just made the executive decision. I figured you guys would be on board with that, considering it's almost September and that was July's gift. And honestly, I'd like to suggest that I do it again with this August Success Club points. I mean, that's my suggestion. If anybody has anything else that they know about that they really like to, donate to, that's on their hearts, I'm totally open to that. And I want you to think about those things, guys. If you see needs out there, or there's something that's special to you, this is something that's important to me to give back. Just in general, I think it's something that is a value of mine, but especially, how God's blessed me with this team and this organization. I just feel like it's something that I want to do. I feel like, I just think you have to. I just think you do. When good comes to you, you got to give it back. But because you guys are a big part of that, I like to ask for you. I want it to be on behalf of you. So I want to hear your ideas. And so we've done like the MS Society, because we do have people on our team who are affected by MS. We've done, what is the organization from, like the one for suicide prevention? We did that because people have, on our team have been affected by, family and people close to them. So that have been affected by it. So, there's things like that you know about that, you'd like to suggest, please bring those my way. But I think I'm going to go ahead, unless I hear otherwise, and move forward with that donation again for the September, or for the August. So anyway, let's talk about mindset. Who struggles with mindset? Everybody. Yeah. So I feel like this is one of those things that we have to stay on top of. We might feel, and I think what happens is we can get into this awesome rhythm, or we feel really on top of the world, and we start to not protect it. And we can really go off the rails. And this is relevant in my life right now because of, going through a big transition in my life. And that's oftentimes what might affect your mindset, life stuff. Maybe it's just tough times in your business, maybe personal life, a relationship. Does anyone know? Yeah, no, I mean, no one keeps a positive mindset. I mean, all the time we have to protect it. And that's why one of the first things we teach you to do is personal development. And what is like the last thing as a new coach we actually do? I mean, I'm just speaking for myself because I can't obviously look into your lives, but I know that was the hardest thing for me to commit to. And it took me 5 months to actually do it. I might have read a page or two of the compound effect in that 5 months. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm sure it's a great thing to do. I'm sure it would add value, but probably not enough to be worth it because my life is crazy. I have a baby, so in my head, I'm like, well, sure, it's good. I know that it's a good thing. No, not how, there's no way it could be bad, but, or not worth it at all. But how can it be that valuable when I have stuff to do? I got to do stuff. I can hardly get around to stuff. So I'm gonna read. But honestly, it's the only reason I'm still here. I wouldn't have made it past month 6 without getting my act together, because inevitably you're gonna hit hiccups, and and then you realize that this has to be a growth. You have to have a growth mindset. You have to have the, so we don't need to beat that to death. But anyway, I have notes up on my monitor, so I'm just going to look up. I have an external monitor. So you see me looking up, it's because I'm making sure that I'm staying on my train of thought. Okay. And so, and some of you were on this call, only a couple of you probably, but we have a diamond call for all of our current diamonds. And we were fortunate enough that Josh Coates invited any of his one-on-one clients and their diamonds to this leader call. And I'm one of his 6 one-on-one clients. So there was, several of our team there listening. And one of the things he said that I think is just so important for us to remember, and this is something that I know to be true, and it's the one thing that scares me to death every day. It's the one thing that scares me into doing my best to stay on top of my personal development and my mindset is you attract what you are and not what you want. And that's scary if you think about it. Write that down. That is scary to me, because when I look at myself each day and I think, do I want more of this mindset that I'm feeling right now, this behavior that I'm displaying, this is what I'm demonstrating. And I also think about this is also true in terms of your team. When you're looking at, why aren't my challengers, engaging? Why aren't my coaches doing anything? Why can't I get people who are, whatever? And we start to worry so much or wonder so much why we're not, why they're not doing anything, or why we're not seeing what we want. And not realizing how much of it's a reflection on us, and to know that our coaches and challengers, they will never, generally, this is not an absolute, grow more than we are. It's the law of the lid. So the law I just mentioned was the law of magnetism of John Maxwell. That's what Josh Coates is a John Maxwell coach. It's to attract what you are, not what you want. And the law of the lid is the personal growth of my team is pretty much limited to how much I'm willing to grow in what I'm doing. And that's scary, but in the best possible way. Because that's what motivates me each day. Because, oh my gosh, if I have anybody within my circle of influence, then this right here has got to get together. Because I'm not going to, and this is me, I'm not going to do it for me. That's not true. As I grow as a person and find more worth in myself, I am much better at that. But generally, we let ourselves down before we let others down. And honestly, each day, it's knowing that I have said that I want to help people that keeps me on that journey, because I acknowledge where I'm at each day. It's yeah, this could be a lot better. So if I want to help others, I've got to improve. So I just want you to keep those things in mind. That is the law of the lid, is you can only expect those within your circle of influence, as a leader, or what's the word? I don't say as a superior, but as you're there, as a leader, you can't expect them to grow more than you are willing to grow. And then the law of magnetism is you attract what you are and not what you want. So think about what you want, and then think about what you are, and are those in alignment right now? And if they're not, that's where your mindset shifts. Instead of focusing on your circumstances, and focusing on what you can control. So I'm going to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 different things that I think you can do. They're action oriented right now to reset your mindset. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 things to talk about moving forward, that you're kind of your growth, your mindset protection plan beyond this reset. Because sometimes we need a hard reset. Maybe you're not there right now, and that's great if you aren't. Ideally, we're staying with a mindset protection plan. We have a system, we have a routine in our life that keeps us from getting too far off the rails. Daily life throws us, right? Different circumstances. I hear myself saying, negative self-speak to myself, or I see myself blaming somebody else for something immediately. My kids, for example, they're late, or, we're late to get out the door, and I start yelling at them oh my gosh. And then I realize, wait a minute, that, what, I could have controlled this, because it's not really their fault. Right? I'm just mad at them right now because they're not, and I think about that blame that I'm doing automatically. Okay, I'm mad at them right now because they are kind of being annoying, but really there was something that I could have controlled in the situation. And so we have those day to day. We're okay, let me just hold up for a second. before I start to like say this is someone else's problem. But that's my mindset. And it's me kind of not looking within myself and saying, you know, my kids are just so irresponsible, you know, instead of focusing on what I control. And that's number one. Well, no, that's not. That's number two. I had number two. Number two is, number one is to define what success looks like for you. Okay, so right now I want you to take an assessment of where your mindset is. Are you struggling? And you don't have to say unless you want to. I'm not really asking you to unless you really do want to share that right now. But I've talked to enough of you, and some of you who I see your face right now, to know, you know, what your current struggles are, to know where your mindset is, what exactly that is. And let me just kind of give a few things that I think, a lot of the main things that I think is an issue. Mindset. And this is speaking from my personal experience of where I'm at or where I've been kind of in this transition, is not feeling successful enough, not feeling good enough, not feeling like maybe what was working for me at one time is not working now, and feeling frustrated, that I'm not an effective leader, I'm not an effective coach, I'm not seeing the kind of growth I thought I would be seeing right now. Mostly we get to feelings of inadequacy, feelings of doubt about our ability. I mean, I don't know that, I don't know if there's a day I don't feel inadequate, honestly. But there are days that you seriously think, was it all a fluke that even made it this far? And for those of you who are new coaches, who haven't, you know, maybe even had enough success to be like, to say that, because I mean, a lot of us who've been around, this is just real. Like several times I'm like, you know, when I'm having like a rough mindset, or I'm like, how did that even happen? Maybe it was just all kind of this crazy fluke that I even, you know, I just got really lucky that I found all these coaches. They just, I don't know, you know, like I will have those thoughts. I mean, I remember the first few months of Success Club that I was hitting it consistently. I remember thinking, this is a month, this might be the month I don't hit it. This might be the month. I remember like, yeah, it must have been a fluke. There's no way I could keep this up. You know, I remember these feelings of, yeah, I'm sure I was just lucky before. I'm sure it was just whatever. And that's when I got to that where I needed to start personal development, when I realized, oh my gosh, I have serious confidence issues. And I started to, so something that helps me, and I want you to, this is like your great reset right now, is like, define what success looks like to you. When you decided to be a coach, was it to make $1,000 a week? Is that why you got signed up? If it is, that's not a bad thing. But if that's the only thing, then you might want to just click the X button and just cancel your coach account. But we get so caught up in traditional success. Ashley never wants to wipe a drunk old man butt again. I don't blame you, Ashley. We had to redefine what success looks like for us, number one, I think. And not to say that doesn't mean, no, like I need to make an income. Like I have bills. I have, you know, like Ashley says, like she needs to, you know, she wants out of her job. And the fact that she's not making the kind of money she wants to make right now might be a real thing, might be a real issue. And that's not, you know, that's not to say, oh, just enjoy the warm fuzzies of helping people and you can get by on that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we can't allow those kind of metrics to determine if we're effective as a coach. And because what happens, our mindset manifests that behavior. I mean, when I started to introduce the idea of affirmations from the New York Morning, I was just like, it was really hard for me. This whole idea of you say what you want to be, even though it feels like a lie. Like for me, I remember doing affirmations. And like the first time I did affirmations was like a year ago when I started trying the Miracle Morning. These are where you say, I would read them to you, but I'm not. I am a strong, confident leader. I remember some of my affirmations, and I had a long list. These are the things that I wanted to work on in my life. These are the things where I felt really inadequate. A lot of them, some of them more than other. There were some that I would read and I would cry because they were so not true. Or I didn't feel they were. But and even if you do this and they're not true to you now, you don't even like believe when you say, that's okay. The thing is, when we start to believe the inadequacy thing, we manifest that behavior. And that's the problem, is when we think these things, we manifest it. And so that's why affirmations work, because you manifest the behaviors that actually create that type of success. Now it's not magic. It's not like, oh, I'm going to say I will make $1 million and it's going to magically happen one day. But I think it can start that way. If you truly believe, if you really start to read that each day, you will actually, I remember starting this and thinking, this is kind of silly. This is crazy. Literal tears when I read, there's like 2 that really were pain points for me. But when I was, going for certain goals, I found myself believing I could, and it was just the words that coming out of my mouth that manifested the activity that would equal that kind of success. And so when we sit here and think, oh, this must have been a fluke. If you sold a few challenge packs, that means you can sell more. Okay. So if you're like, if you've put a coach on your team, that means you can put more. So you know what I mean? And that's where we get in our head and we stop ourselves from growth. And now we have this self-fulfilling prophecy. So, anyway, first, so I want you to define what success looks like for you and not let these traditional measures of success keep you from feeling like you can move forward and do the things that work. We all came into this business, to make a difference in people's lives. And we lose when we lose too much focus on that. And so I want you to just redefine what it is that success looks like for you. Okay. Does it hurt if my paycheck goes down? Yes. But I didn't come in to make a certain amount of money. And so whenever I'm frustrated about that and I let that affect my mindset, I'm not honoring my why. I'm not honoring my priority. Which means I'm not actually doing what I came to do. So what's your why? Are you a phoenix? Are you of that phoenix mindset where I'm going to have these tough times. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to burn down. I'm going to be ashes, but I'm going to rise again. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to be a fighter. Or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wallow in self-blame and self-pity. Do you have that phoenix mindset? When you think about, what you're here for and the kind of the change that you want to affect in others, coach yourself in that moment. What would I say to a challenger? What would I say to a coach who's speaking the words I'm speaking to myself? Would I allow them? Is that a phoenix mindset? Lauren says, if you've added a coach, you can add another. People are like, yep, it's so simple, but we start to tell ourselves these stories. So here's number 2 is hack the excuses and the blame and the comparison by saving it for later. So this is my mindset hack. When I find myself in that comparison, I find myself looking at others and seeing what they're doing and why am I not, blaming my children for whatever, for being late or making me late, or blaming, this phone call for interrupting my flow, or whatever. I have an excuse about my time. It's so funny. We have these excuses and things. And this will be true for some of you who've been around for a little while, but we'll say that time is our excuse. Whatever the excuse is, but time's a big one, right? I don't have time, I'm so busy. But a lot of us have been really effective, even when we're busy. I know some of the most successful or productive times I've had when I was super busy. I was just really smart about my time. But then I want to use that excuse sometimes when it's not working in my favor because my mindset is bad. I've lost my why. So I know that that's BS, but it really works because I can believe it. And this is what I do. When I start to feel those thoughts, or I start to say them to myself, or I start to like see myself comparing or starting to blame, I tell myself, okay, your feeling is valid, maybe, but we save it until you've actually done what you can control. Then you can go back to it. So when someone says stop comparing yourself, someone says stop like making excuses, it's not that easy, right? We see all these memes and these cute quotes, and we use them ourselves in our challenge groups. It's not that easy. Oh, stop worrying. Okay. Stop, comparing. Okay, I'll just stop. Like, it's not like, it doesn't just happen. There's something in our head. It's got to be fixed. It's a brain game. It's something in our head. It's mental. So I just tell myself, okay, that's legit. I'm going to go do what I can control and come back to it. And so I think about this in terms of like my volatile behaviors. Oh my gosh, my volume's low, or oh my gosh, BOD has changed. This is either I have so many examples from like other coaches that are like in these leaders, like these leader pages that I'm in. BOD spoiled my volume. Once we started going digital, or the 10% off of the club membership, whatever. People have other things about why they're not making money. I don't know. And I say, okay, maybe that's an issue. Maybe Beachbody should look at that. But I know what I can do is my vitals. And if I'm not doing those really well right now, I can't even look at what the business, if the comp plan's jacked up, or if social media culture has changed. Maybe it has. I don't know. But if I'm not like doing my vitals, if I can't fill out this little bingo sheet and say I did this and I won the week, do you guys know all about this? Win the week. It's like, I use this in the team cup. It's basically the vital behaviors, all of cute little icons, and we use bingo. It's cute. It's fun. But the cool thing about it is people have been noticing they're doing it, and they're getting their bingos, and they're seeing, oh my gosh, look at all these holes. I didn't realize I hadn't done that many invites. It's cool because it's a fun way to go about your vitals, but then you see like, oh, okay, so I'm kind of short. If you're giving yourself little excuses, if you're speaking that to yourself each day, if you're having those moments where it's like, this is the problem, that's the problem, like, okay, maybe that's an issue. But let me just table it for a second and do what I can control, and then come back to it. And things, I don't want to. Well, okay, well, let me just see what happens after I do it. See if I really want to do this. And what happens once you start going. Once you put action behind something, you get excited again. But here's what happens. We do just enough to get moving with our business. Those of you who've been a coach for a couple months, we know we're supposed to do the vital behaviors, right? And we start doing some stuff, and we actually get some movement. And then we kind of lose our routine a little bit because things were working, right? We saw enough action, and then it starts to slip because there's action. So like I'm getting, there's some stuff, I have conversations, I'm good. And then there's not. Well, why isn't it working? It was working. I was doing it before, but now something's changed. Well, it never changed. You never actually did everything. You know what I mean? But we get enough traction. We get enough. I'm talking to myself because my inbox will have some conversations going. I'm like, I'm good. See, I have all kinds of irons in the fire. We're good. And then it's like, well, then you're not good. But where was the activity? And this is a tip of, and then it's lather, rinse, repeat, right? We kind of do this again and again to ourselves. We're like, okay, I got to get back. Let me get my act together. Let me do my invites. Let me do my thing. And then, okay. And it's just like, and then we're like up and down and whining again, So I'm in this 80-day obsession test group, right? And we're all doing our transformation photos, and everyone's looking awesome and hot. And I'm like, I'm loving my results. Julie Voris and like Danielle Natoni come in there where they're like, ripped. Day one. I'm like, and she's like, I know, it's just, Julie said, I'm seeing all these photos and I'm not really seeing much difference. And, I guess my superpower is consistency, and we're all excited and shouting and celebrating everyone else. And I'm like, you know what? I want those results. I want such consistency in my life that I'm not rocked by the greatest challenges. My body's looking different because I was off the wagon a little bit. And so this awesome, challenging program is going to change it. And obviously those who have a lot more weight on their bodies are seeing greater changes, right? But Julie Boris in her ripped little body is like, and I'm like, no, but Julie, like, that's awesome. That means the toughest challenge doesn't rock you. I want that. But here we are, they're up and down, and then we're like with our activity, and then that's where our emotions go. It's just like the yo-yo dieting, you know? And so that tends to be so that's what I said. I hack my mindset by saying, okay, let me just put this activity out there, and then I'm allowed to feel my emotions. Then I'm allowed to like address this, whatever I'm saying is the issue. And then sure enough, you know what happens. I'm on a roll, and I'm excited, and I'm loving my business because I'm actually investing in people. I'm not whining about things. And then I'm reminded why I'm a coach, and then I'm on fire, and then I'm annoying because I'm in your face with my live videos. And then I'm, do you know what I mean? And so I call that my hack. It's like, I'm not telling myself, don't feel emotions. I'm saying they might be valid, but come back to them. And I had this conversation with the coach this week. I was like, okay, she was really worried about that. She had a lot of different concerns about why this may not work for her. And I said, you know what? I will 100% support, whatever your decision is. Because I want what's best for you. That's my goal is what's best for you. And if this is not best for you, I totally support that. I said, but if you truly want to find out if it's best for you, fill this out for 3 months, and then we'll talk about it. And she's like, okay, like she wasn't doing it, and that's the thing is I've never had a single coach. There's been thousands. Probably thousands. In this organization. Not mine personally. I've not had a single coach actually follow the vital behaviors for like 3 months and say, yeah, this doesn't work. That's just not a thing. We just don't work. So that's my mindset hack. I guess this is something that I want to mention here. I think the reason that we don't go what's hardest for us here is that we're afraid of being inadequate. And we're afraid of going hard at doing the best we can because we're afraid of what the best looks like. And because we have these high standards, right? And sometimes if we just we don't have to face that reality. We don't want to come to face with our inadequacy because we have these crazy high standards. So it's easier to not know, right? But I want to challenge you to think about this. Your personal standard is stupid. It is. Mine is. Mine's stupid. Because how will I know when I get there? How will I even know what my best is? What is my best? We don't know what it is because we don't have one, because we're always going to have potential this side of heaven. There's always more. And so for me to like hide from my personal standard because I don't want to, it's dumb, because even whatever my standard is, it's stupid. Who cares what it is? Like, it's probably too high, number one, but like, if I said I have so much more, I'm always going to have more. That's what I'm trying to give to the world, is this idea of you always have more to grow. So just keep trying to grow. When you get to that standard, you're going to stop there. And so I think we hide from that. And so that's my perfectionist talk that I cannot keep out of team calls. Like I say, like talk about it every time. Okay, number 3, and this is action, and then I'm dead serious. If you have not started a program, a program start to finish with nutrition, 100%, it's time, and taking the photo and putting it on social media and doing exactly what, did I call someone stupid? Who's Andrea? No, I didn't call you stupid. I call all of us stupid. Our personal standards are ridiculous. Where was I at? Oh yes. So now I don't attest that anybody should live the 100% life when it comes to nutrition at all. I don't subscribe to that. But I really think it's important to at least do a program. How much more fun is it to watch me on social media right now? I'm tooting my horn, but I'm sharing a program start to finish. I'm excited about what I'm doing. It doesn't matter that it's AD Obsession. If it was anything, it's I know that it's exciting because it is a new program, but if it was anything that you're putting out there and you're sharing before pictures and you're sharing the journey on a day one, people want to follow our journey. I really think you've got to go there. I do. I think if you haven't had a before after transformation and submitted the photos and done the nutrition 100%, you have to. you can't just run this business and not show people what the programs do personally. I think it's really critical. And it changes your mindset. My mindset has transformed because of this, because I'm reminded of so many things in my business to trust the process, number one. And what discipline does in my life, it reflects everything. So sticking to a program, following nutrition, when you create that kind of structure in your life, it creates structure everywhere else. And that gives you peace. Why do we have our bad mindset, anxiety? It's because we have anxiety when we don't know that we're controlling what we can control. We have peace when we're doing the best we can, even if circumstances suck, even if, even if there are things that come into our life that are, deaths in the family or whatever, things that really rock our world. We have peace when we know we've done all we can. Even if it doesn't look pretty, the outcome, we at least can say, I've done what I can, and whatever the outcome is, I can accept that. We have anxiety and stress and this mindset of inadequacy when we haven't done what we can control. And I know for me, that's discipline. Discipline is I struggle with order and organization and focus and forgetfulness and keeping my calendar and getting everything fitting in, and discipline, following a program, it manifests in the rest of your life and in your business, and your mindset. It gets you super excited because you see, oh my gosh, I'm capable of so much more. And obviously just the natural effects of eating better and exercising and seeing results is huge. And I want to talk about this too. This is something that I think the 80-day obsession specifically makes a difference to me, is that it's not my results from the 80-day obsession. Okay, no. When I did the 21-day fix, extreme or 21-day fix, whichever one it was, because in my head it was 3 weeks, my nutrition got looser earlier, but I already know this is 80-day program. So it's not hard yet, but I'm a month in now. And it's interesting to me, these shorter programs, something about having the idea of the long haul, I'm putting forth this discipline and this excitement in a different way. I'm not sure how to say this, but I think it makes sense. When it's 3 weeks, it's that 3 weeks seems long. And so you're nearing the end. And so you might, but because I know this is 80 days, I haven't even thought about it being hard yet. I'm sure towards the end it'll be different, but it's this long haul mindset of even with the 60-day programs, I get through month one, but that it starts to get a little bit harder. But I think it's because I have a long haul mindset. And I think sometimes we do that with our, our businesses. We don't have that, so think about the long haul. I'm good with 3 weeks. And I don't mean everybody should want to eat like this for 3 weeks. I just mean our mindset of a journey and the way our activities start to wane because we have a short-term mindset. I definitely don't think everybody needs to eat 100% clean all the time. But I will say this. I was having this conversation with somebody, the whole 80-20 rule and how I subscribe to it. But I feel like that actually makes me feel like some foods are good and some foods are bad. And I think with the 80-day obsession, of what I realized is I think we all have to decide we have to have a 100% mindset to decide what our 100% is. Because something about this 80-20 means we shift, and this is what was happening with the coaches in this network and this group, is they shifted to this 50-50, and then now they're they let themselves really go. And I think it's because we have this cheat mentality. I'm having a cheat. I'm having, you know what I mean? And so I would just say, no, let your 100% be, I have a few desserts in the week. That's not called 80-20. That's called my 100% is I eat healthy, but I deserve some wine. And that's 100% for me. But when we call it 80-20, then we allow a lot more slack. And that's kind of how, with this business, I feel that's what happens is we kind of call it like, well, I'm going to move on because does that make, okay, I'm glad it makes sense. I was starting to feel like I wasn't making sense. I can't share this because this is supposed to, okay. I can share this in a certain way. So think about it in terms of if Beachbody were to like give us like a, I don't know, like the next shake flavor was like cookies and cream, or if it was like, I don't know, something else, like the difference between cookies and cream and chocolate. I don't want Beachbody like telling me I have to fool myself into having a treat or something. You know, does that make sense? It doesn't go with the mindset, the mission mindset to like cheat. And so peanut butter, that'd be a good idea. I don't even know they're having another shake flavor. I'm just making this up. I just mean like calling it a cheat is a disservice. Anyway, I'm moving on. Number 4 is, this is going to be quick, is be a part of the rising tide. So that, you know, the rising tide raises all ships. When your mindset sucks, you're not a part of the rising tide in Team Phoenix. And I'm glad that, you know, team calls, national wake up calls, you got to get here. You got to get on them. You know, I found myself getting behind on national wake up calls when my mindset sucks because I'm not as excited. You know, that's the best way to like just feed your brain. But be a part of the rising tide with the rising tide, being really engaged with the team at large. I love seeing across the lines. I think that's one of my favorite things is to see across the line teams like engaging and learning from each other. This used to be really dominant on our team when our team was growing fast because they were growing fast together. And I think people are becoming so insular and so like, you know, it's bigger because I think we're a little bit more afraid to like to talk as much on the team page because it's becoming larger. But, and so we get into our own little pods and our little holes and we get a little bit, we're worried about our own stuff and afraid that we don't have value to provide. So we don't want to chime in. And we feel like we got to figure things out on our own. But I promise you, lean into this team. Lean in. The more you lean into each other, the more you're lifted up. The people, I was sharing this example on my little short video. I had a coach who was struggling with something, and she was so honest with me about sharing her struggles. And I appreciate that so much because most people go MIA. And she came with, I'm just being honest. My mindset is here. I'm not happy with it. And she said, and this is what I've tried. But she was not she wasn't blaming anybody and she wasn't excusing it or anything. She was just saying, and by leaning in, having this conversation, like I didn't give her much advice. She was lifted up and she was like back on track. But what happens is we lean away. So if you're ever having like self-doubt, anything like that, lean in, just engage with the people here. You will be lifted up. Just don't slink into the shadows because you're feeling like you don't have any value to provide. Really being a part of, as a leader, if you have coaches on this team, the more you engage with other people, the more they're going to engage. You have to be an example for what you want them to do. Do you want them to be a part of your community? Do you want them to raise the spirits in your team? Then you've got to be that person for them to look up to within your larger organization. Molly says that when she was struggling with Brandon's drinking, it really helped just to share, and she was lifted. You don't realize how many other people have gone through what you're going through, and so just to have this community. I remember when you shared that, such a vulnerable thing to put out there, but so many people have been there, can so relate to your struggle, and that's what we're here for. See, Chris says she's been there, but we're afraid. So just use this community. This is exactly what I hope to build when I started coaching, was this place where people felt safe and that they trusted each other and they had this, because we don't have that necessarily outside of these walls. We don't have that kind of support. This is the place. Do you want to be like around these kind of people, or do you want to be outside in that world that's okay with mediocrity? Okay, and the last one is to adjust your sales. You got to be okay adjusting your sales. This is hard when things aren't working, to be open to trying new things, to not, not keep beating through the same doors. That's not to say you don't try things a few times. Like I think, like free groups are, you gotta give them you gotta give them a little time, but maybe free groups in a different way. Like I know Andrea is trying something new because she didn't feel like, she was doing these straight clean eating things. I was just like, that's just not her, because they're straight cleaning. Like that's not the way she eats. So she's like, I want to, she needed to do something that was more along the lines with, what people she struggles with, and that she could help other people and she'd find her tribe. So thinking about ways that you can adjust your sales, being, being solution oriented. I have great systems. Sure, your upline has great tools, but they're not the end all be all. You have a lot of greatness within you. Definitely, I know Lauren Friedman is really great at coming up with cool ideas with her free groups. Jessie was just sharing with me the other day, she's using Instagram stories. She's finding they're much more effective. She's messaging the people that like her Instagram stories, or that watch her, to view them, and they're responding to her. So just start to get creative, and you'll see, like Instagram, guys, if you want to adjust your sales right now, I think Instagram's a good place to focus in terms of social media. I'm trying, let's view together. And this is what I said to, I've said this to a few coaches, and I'm going to try to do it not so impassioned, but when I was a new coach, no, I didn't have an upline to follow and learn from, but I did have the entire YouTube network of coaches who'd shared stuff in team calls and all the old podcasts. And I listened to those and I learned from those coaches. I learned what the Power Hour was, I learned what a challenge group was. I figured out how to talk about them and sell them and all that good stuff. All of these things actually came about, like Beachbody didn't make up a challenge group. Beachbody didn't tell us what a Power Hour is. Beachbody started some fitness programs, and coaches actually built this network and how it works. And they started to create resources based off of how coaches were becoming successful. Really cool thing, right? They decided to provide challenge group resources. They started to create these templates, but coaches started them with, same with the Power Hour. Someone just decided to craft this little organized, guideline of how to do this. Now they have big clean week from people doing clean eating. That's how Beachbody is. And I learned clean eating groups from Christine Dwyer. I'm fortunate. I want to be the team who's revolutionary now. Okay. And now that I'm established and I figured out my way and I have confidence as a coach and a leader, when things are changing within the social media, when things are changing within the network, when things change and shift within culture, because they do and they will, the one thing that won't change is people needing what we have, right? That people are going to stop maybe liking all those fancy colored, flowered, printed leggings one day. People are not always, there's, or whatever businesses are out there, people are always going to need what we have. That is undeniable, right? People are always going to need, if not more. We're not getting healthier as a country. We just aren't. But things will shift in terms of how it works to sell it, right? And reach people. Mary Kay used to only go home parties, but now Mary Kay does online events too, right? And so things are always shifting. I don't want to wait around for some coach to figure it out and I go learn from them now. I don't want you to either. I don't want you to wait for me. I want to. I'd love to figure it all out for you and teach you and train you. I'm not that amazing, but I promise you, I'm trying. But I want to be the person who cares enough about what I do to go figure it out, even when times are tough. When things aren't working, I want to care enough to go find something that does work. And I want other teams to be like, oh, Team Phoenix has a cool resource. They're doing this. I want to do that. That it looks like it's effective. Let's try that. Like I did with, whatever all these other teams do. So that's what I mean by adjust your sales. I'm here for a reason, and I'm excited about trying to be creative and resourceful and think outside the box so when things aren't working for me, that's my hope, my goal. Who knows if I'll be effective, if I will, but I love the idea that I could be if I just keep trying, and I get to help mold the network moving forward about, with this purpose that I truly believe in. And I think the people that are here do. So be a phoenix, be revolutionary, care enough that you adjust your sales to reach people for the things that you know work. Even if it has to reach them in a different way than it reached you, because you know getting Shakeology in their hands will change their life. And you know getting this program in their hands will change their life. You know, there are ways to do it. There's always going to be a way, and we're going to figure it out. Okay, so your mindset protection plan. Expose yourself to the best information and the best information only, meaning avoid conversations. If you have a team, maybe you have a success partner that's whiny, and if that success partner is here, don't shout them out or anything. You know, sometimes we get these partnerships where it's not mutually beneficial, because we're, you know, more lifting the other up rather than it's collaborative. Maybe you're in like Beachbody Champions, and there's a message thread that's starting to get a little whiny and complaining and whatever. Like, I know that I'm in a couple of leader pages that I seriously need to just probably exit. There's a lot of good value in there, so I stay in there. But then I see some message threads of like coaches just kind of whining about what's not working for them, and then looking at, well, this coach is marketing to the UK, and before it was, I'm like, who cares? Before it was even announced, they must have known about it. I'm like, who the hell cares? What does that have to do with anything with you? Like, stay out of those conversations. So, you know, well, you know, I invited 10 people and nobody even responded to me. I know, no, you know, that's not valuable. So expose yourself, like, you know, remove yourself from that conversation. That's the worst thing for our mindset, just to have that me too mentality. Me too. And I'm not exempt from seeing it and being like, oh, maybe that is an issue. Maybe that's a problem. And so I have to like set myself up for success. And number 2, role model the best people. So those people out there that you see, those leaders on our team or outside the team that you most admire, their confidence, their poise, their mindset, their passion. Role model those people. Look at those people. Look at how they're approaching the world. That's what our mindset is. It's kind of the filter through which we see the world. It's everything that we know and have learned about what we do and who we are, and the beliefs or the belief system we have. It's the filter through how we operate and through how we think of ourselves. And so look at those people that you most admire and try to role model those people, emulate them, find those people. And number 3 is examine your current beliefs. Are you a self-sabotager? I am. You know you should be working. You know that you shouldn't be eating that or whatever, but you do it anyway. Have you identified like why? Have you taken the time to like look into yourself and see what is it that you don't feel worthy about? Like, if you're reading like Brené Brown, that's such a good book. She's such a good author. She has a few books, but like she talks about feeling your shame. Like, we can't avoid it. We can't hide from it. We can't think about your challenges to go up again, you know, the yo-yo dieting. They get motivated and excited and have success, but until they actually address why they don't feel worthy of that, until they actually get to the root, they're going to keep doing that. They're going to keep going up and down. It's not just about discipline. It's not just about food. It really isn't. You know it. We know it, that how we treat our bodies as far as food and fitness is not about food and fitness. It's about what we think of ourselves, and what we value in ourselves. And if you're having these limiting beliefs, feel them. Take some time with them. Don't run from them. Don't hide from them. Feel them. Go through the pain. Cry. Whatever you have to do. You don't heal it and you don't face it head on otherwise. And there's no way to move past it. You can't ignore it. Trust me, you can't ignore it. You have to. I've been in therapy for a couple years now. Like, and you might need to do the same. You may not. I don't know. You might need to find the right books. Find the right PD, the right whatever. Figure out what it is. Take time. Read personal development on that. Forget your, what badass or whatever. If you really need to focus on whatever else. I mean, I don't know what it is for you, but if you haven't taken the time to get to the root of those issues, they're going to keep rearing their ugly head. They're going to keep biting you in the tail. So go ahead and figure out what those beliefs are, or it's a journey. I mean, maybe you won't tonight. I just mean, this is going to be part of your, plan is to go ahead and face those head on. and what does Brene say? Rumble with them. She calls it rumbling. Rumble with them. Anyway, and lastly, Miracle Morning. And maybe not the Miracle Morning the way I do it, and maybe not the traditional Miracle Morning, but your mindset doesn't just happen. It won't each day. Have a plan. I say Miracle Morning because that's what I do, but have a plan to approach your day with intention. Those of us in the Miracle Morning, like Zoom, we, have our own little, we're all doing something different. By the time they get on the Zoom, I'm actually in my workout time and they see me working out. So is Molly sometimes. Some people are sitting at computers, this is what I do. I pray, I'll read a devotional. I'll plan out my day in my planner. I'll do affirmations and I'll look at my goals. I'll do visualization. But essentially I'm getting my mindset right. It doesn't just happen, y'all. Y'all know it won't. You get up, you push the snooze button to the last minute you got to get up because you need more sleep. And then you're up and then you're trying to go and then your kids aren't ready and then you're crazy and then you're already in a pissy mood and then you're, crazy person. So it doesn't happen unless we're intentional. So find, time, whatever that looks like for you. And if that is just 10 minutes, they talk about a 6-minute miracle morning and that's how people start. We have a group that you can get added to and you can look at the different, savers, as he calls them. Each SAVERS stands for something. Each of them, the things I just mentioned, basically, get a plan to set your mindset each day. It's so healing and it gives you so much peace. It really does. You won't know how you lived life without it. Again, I don't want to, there's probably different ways to go about doing this. This is just the only way I know and I've done works for me. So, maybe you go for a long walk in the mornings and that's when you clear your head and you pray and you think about things. I don't know. But you can't just get up and go, I don't think. I think you've got to have a plan to set your intentions for what you want in life. Our mindset just gets hijacked every day, everyone else around us. And every other mediocre person who isn't brave enough to live the life that you want to live, who doesn't have the big dream that you have, doesn't have the guts to challenge themselves, to believe they can have anything more than what their current life is. Okay. The world's going to hijack that if you don't take control of it, if you don't own it. So whatever that looks like for you, I just strongly encourage you to set that mindset protection plan. Yeah. So yeah. I can add the link to the group if you want to join. I'll put it in the event after this, in just a minute, and you can be added. You can look in like the pinned post or the description to get the link to join. I'm going to go ahead and it's supposed to start at 6. I'm going to go ahead and log on earlier when I'm up, because I'm up early with my workout, I'm doing a workout thing, with this test group. So I'm up at 4:45. So I might get on there at like 5. But if you show up anytime between 5 and 7, someone's probably going to be there. All right. Okay. Does anyone want to chime in? I hate that I've only talked and I haven't heard anybody else's voice for the past hour. I just see your chat. There you go. Yeah, you can log on anytime. And no voices. No one's going to talk to me. You can let me get off all awkward. Rude. Awesome. Oh, I get a heart. Ashley, I'll take it. All right, y'all. Man, y'all, I just applaud you for staying on for an hour. I never want it to be that long, but inevitably I talk that long. So, all right. Oh, did I hear actual sound?
Hi. Oh, I think that's confusing.
I hear a voice.
I just feel like you spoke my whole mind.
Oh, yay.
Like literally the whole time.
Any other aha moments or anything like that that stuck out to people that they feel like, I don't know, was most impactful for them, or that they think would be the most helpful for them personally moving forward?
I feel like I just need personal development. I've kind of gone off that, and right now I'm just going my life has changed a little bit, And so I've kind of just not, like, my time is just crazy right now, which you were just saying, like, everybody uses time as an excuse. I really wish that there would be like 10 more hours in the day, but it's like, so right now it's just frustrating. I don't know why. Like, I'm just like, okay, I just need to refocus because I'm not in the right mindset right now, and which I don't like, because it really makes it difficult for you to keep doing your groups. Like, I love my groups and I'm getting good feedback from my group. So when you're not feeling the positive in your life, it's hard to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
So good job, Megan.
Well, pick up a book or a podcast tomorrow and just start. You know, you might not even feel it. It might not even like sink into your head the first day, because you're just that. I think that what happens, we get that like resistant or that stubborn, or that just in our own little funk. Like, shut up, John Maxwell.
Yeah.
You know, okay, John, that was kind of cool, but, and then the next day it's like, ooh, a good one. You know, and then by day 4 you're like into it. You're like, well, I'm doing awesome. You know, that's how it works. You know, you just gotta like plug it in and be like, all right, whatever. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm glad. I feel inadequate a lot, and I'm glad that you said something. So I don't know. I feel very alone with that sometimes, and I overthink everything. And the thing about the fluke too, I feel like that about every day. I'm like, this is probably just a fluke this month. Like, why are this many people? Like, what is this? And that's really, it's like a mindset thing. And then I have to dive further back into the PD. Like, I listen to so much during a day, it's ridiculous. Like, I drive an hour each way and PD is playing the entire time. And if I don't do that, my mind is just not, I can tell such a difference. But it's good to know that I'm not the only person that's felt that way before.
And I think we think it's just us. And it's, the thing about it is everybody in the world feels that way. And it's so sad to me. That's what's so sad to me, is that everybody does. And the more that we push, the more that we proceed in spite of it, the more that we're showing them that it's okay. Like, I don't want the rest of the world to feel that isolation. I don't want the rest of the world to feel bad, you know? And it makes me sad to know that, like, you amazing women who are here on this call feel that way. I know this. Like, and you're women who have decided to take charge of your life, you know, and your health, and invest in an expensive shake and coach. Like, you people who feel inadequate, can you imagine, like, it is so sad to me that so many people are living that way. And if we're not like taking that feeling and like saying, okay, I'm gonna do something with it, then who's gonna help them? Like, who's gonna be their voice? Like, that's our job. That's the way I feel. Like, I just feel really sad that people live this way and don't have what we have. And so the more I feel that way, being somebody who's had success in life or is healthy and fit and living what people would see as success, like, I feel that way. Like, oh my gosh, like, I have such a job to talk about it and to be like, I'm gonna succeed in spite of my inadequacy. Watch me. I'm going to continue to be inadequate every single day. And if I can do it, then you can do it. And the more we dare, I'm going to dare to be awesome in spite of my inadequacies. The more we do it, the more others believe they can do it. There's no other way they're going to change. They're going to wait till they figure things out. These perfectionists, guess what? Confidence is not a mindset. Action is. You don't get confident by waiting. That's what they're waiting to feel better. They're waiting to get confident. We're waiting to be adequate to do stuff. It doesn't work that way. You make action and then stuff happens and then confidence comes. It's just, we just have this backwards mindset. So, okay, it's been a long call, but isn't it sad just to, like, you amazing women here, like, feel inadequate,
And know that we all do. If I'm being completely honest and vulnerable right now, it's been a vulnerable night. If any of you have read the post that I just put out on social media, that literally makes me want to vomit. But as Meg says, if things are not working, you change it up. But if I'm being completely honest, this picture behind me, I look at it every day and sometimes wonder if it was a fluke. That's my elite coach picture of myself. Okay. Like, I do. All of us, every single leader on this team can say that I can relate to every single thing that Megan said. We all can. But I think I wrote down a lot of like truth bombs. I mean, just know that we've all been there. And Megan's right. I mean, if we are feeling inadequate, we have so many people out there that we need to serve. But it starts with us for sure.
It's a tall order. It's a lot of responsibility, right? I think it feels that way. It feels a lot. I don't want that pressure, but like, I don't think, God doesn't give this kind of, responsibility to anybody. And I feel like if he trusted me with it, then I'm going to do my damnedest. I'm going to try. So, all right. I love you guys. Fun talk. All right. 2 more days in the month. If anybody wants to offer a live power hour, I'm sure someone would love it. I'll go ahead and post the link to the Miracle Morning group. It's called Wake Up to Your Best Self. If you see it, Wake Up to Your Best Self group. You're welcome to join that if you like. You don't have to hop on the power if you don't want to, but you can be in the group. It's just, it's not just for coaches, it's just FYI. So if you get in there and you talk coach stuff, I opened it up to the whole world. I mean, whatever. It's public. It's one of those things that I feel like people do in their lives, and so I wanted to offer that to anybody. So if you have people in your like challenge groups or whatever you're starting to have success with it and you like it, share it. It's supposed to serve people in general, just starting to make a routine in their life. So just a heads up, because I have people like coaches start to like talk about coaching in there. I'm like, well, I don't want people to feel uncomfortable that they think this is just for coaches or that I'm trying to recruit them or anything. So just that heads up. All right. Have a great night.